On September 12th, 2024, I posted a video that would permanently change JerseyBird's trajectory. It was a minute-long video covering the kits we would make if we manufactured for Walton and Hersham FC, one of England's most interesting up-and-coming clubs, and a club that, like us, was racking up millions of views on social media. Our video got a few 100,000 views, the club ended up noticing it, and we ended up signing with them, our first pro club in England. And they have a storied history. Formed in 1945, the club rose to prominence in the 70s, lifting an FA Amateur Cup at Wembley in 1973 and knocking Brighton out of the FA Cup that same year. But by 2020, the club was in crisis, having fallen all the way to the 10th tier before being purchased for just £1 in a long-shot attempt to revive the club's Premier League dreams. In the 2025 preseason, I traveled to London to visit the club and see what they were building. I got a full tour of their home grounds, the iconic Excel Sports Hub, got to meet their staff and players, watch a preseason match, and even try some of the food. And after just one day with the club, I could tell that they were building something special. The club was transforming from a social media spectacle into something with a real foundation. But what I didn't know is they were about to go on to have one of the best seasons in club history. They would go on to dominate the league, finish with 29 wins, 5 draws, and 8 losses, finishing in first place and securing a promotion to the Enterprise National League, the 6th tier of English football, one step closer to their ultimate goal of reaching the Premier League. And you might think that's a total pipe dream, but that's their 4th promotion in just 6 seasons, and it's time to start taking this club seriously if you aren't already. But this show isn't just about the performance on the pitch. We've all seen clubs document that. This show is about what clubs don't want to share, the brutal financials behind lower league clubs, and what it takes to run a winning program in an era where profitability is harder to reach than ever before. Walton and Hersham gave us their entire financial information. Yes, we literally have their profit and loss statements from every single month, and now we're sharing it with the world. How much does it cost to win a 7th tier title? In this video, I'm covering it all: every ticket sale, every sponsorship check, every single wage payment, and ultimately, how much did Walton and Hersham make or lose throughout their first league title winning season since 1969. You are now watching Welcome to Walton. What's up, everyone? My name is Hayes Knupp, JerseyBird founder and your host of Welcome to Walton, the 3rd and newest show in the JerseyBird network, covering the rise of Walton and Hersham through a financial lens, the most interesting and also least shared type of content in the football space. Most clubs either can't share it or don't want to share it for whatever reason, but we've been given full access to all club financials, and we're about to break it down month by month. Before we get into it, if you want to support Walton and Hersham and their journey to the Premier League, follow all their socials and buy their kit if you haven't already. It's available in our store if you're US based and in their store if you're UK based. We do have the 2026 kits dropping very soon, so keep an eye out for those. And as always, if your club is in need of new kits and apparel, visit JerseyBird.com, tap Start a Project, and you'll be paired with a JerseyBird designer who will create some awesome custom kits just like the ones you see in our videos. As always, thank you guys for all the support. Now back to the video. First, let's start with a super quick overview of the football pyramid we're trying to climb and how money works at each level of English football. At the top, you've got, of course, the Premier League, the top tier, and then below that, you have the Championship, League 1, and then League 2. Together, those 3 tiers, tiers 2, 3, and 4, make up what is called the EFL, or English Football League. Their main source of income is TV and broadcasting money, and these numbers are crucial because they give you a clear idea of each tier's scale of commercial operations. The Premier League splits around £3 billion between just 20 clubs. That's over 100 million each, even for the club that finished finishes dead last. Drop down to the EFL, the Championship, League One, and League Two, and the money pretty much falls off a cliff. A championship club takes home around £11 million per year. Drop one more level to League One, and it's about £2 million per year. Drop again to the fourth tier, League Two, and the club is surviving on roughly £1.5 million. So for perspective, one Premier League club can pull in more TV cash than all 72 EFL clubs combined. By the time you reach the National League and the National League North and South, the 5th and 6th tiers, the tier Walton and Hersham just jumped into, TV money is much less of a factor. Now, these two levels did just sign a major streaming deal with DAZN in 2024, which now streams all tier 5 matches and select 6th tier matches, which is great exposure for these clubs, and it does mean that Walton and Hersham will be on TV for some of their matches this season, but the TV money here is definitely not enough to build a club around. Drop down one more level down to the 7th tier, specifically the Southern Premier League South, the league Walton and Hersham just won, and there's basically zero TV money. In this league, clubs survive on the stuff that's really just a bonus for the big clubs. Ticket sales, sponsorships, shirt sales, and most importantly, the bar. By some estimates, around 65 to 80% of a typical non-league club's revenue comes from food and beverage, primarily beer sales. Walton and Hersham were sitting in the 7th tier, so they should be living off of the bar, but they're not. Because they don't own their home grounds, the alcohol sales go entirely to the venue operator, not the club. So they see none of that revenue. So before we open these books, keep that in mind. The club is already operating with a key revenue source missing. So let's get into the financials. Walton's financial year kicks off in July, deep in the preseason, before a single competitive match has been played. And by some metrics, July is their best month of the whole season. They pull in over £33,000 of sponsorship money in a single month, roughly a third of their entire season sponsorship, and it all lands in the first week. Most of that is local businesses buying shirt space, including their front of shirt sponsor Slice and pitch side advertising for the year ahead, most of it invoiced up front. There's another £10,000 or so in player registration fees on top, which is regarding the Walton and Hersham Academy, so that is the youth players getting registered, and with barely any wages on the books yet, Walton and Hersham are firmly in profit to start the year. JerseyBird also gave them a boost to start the preseason, investing around 45,000 USD into gear for their senior and youth teams, helping the club make a smooth manufacturing transition without having to break the bank on a bunch of new gear. We can talk about JerseyBird's deal with the club in another episode. That's kind of an entirely different story, but it's actually one of the most unique and sustainable deals in English football. Anyways, we're off to a good start, up £27,569. And if every month looked like this, Walton would be swimming in profit. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. August arrives and the season kicks off. The academy registration fees peak this month, nearly £13,000, the biggest of the year as families sign their kids up for the season ahead. But August is also when the senior wage bill switches on. Over £17,000 goes out in player wages, and that number is only going to climb from here. Add the usual running costs on top, and even with a solid opening ticket gate, Walton take their first loss of the season, down £9,646. September is a bit quieter, and on the books, it looks like an easy month. A bit more academy income, the gate and sponsorship money continue to contribute, and the wage bill all but disappears. Just a small loan player cost. But that is a bit of an illusion because September's player wages, around £20,000, were actually not paid out until October after a few administrative changes happened behind the scenes. There's also a first taste of cup money as well, a couple £1,000s from the FA Cup. In the qualifying rounds of the FA Cup, clubs earn a fixed prize money payment for every round they win, plus a share of the gate. The club took down Three Bridges 2-0 in the first qualifying round, which paid out £2,250. So on paper, Walton sneak back into profit, and 3 months in, Walton are up £25,850, top of the table, top of the books, and this is about as good as it gets all year. Then October hits, the worst month so far. On the books, over £40,000 goes out in player wages. Remember, that's a double hit because they were not processed in September. So month to month, Walton's actual player wage bill is steady, just a little under £20,000, and the income in October actually held up. An FA Cup second qualifying round win against Whitehawk paid out £3,375, and a third round qualifying loss to Chippenham Town paid another £1,875, ending their FA Cup run with a total of £7,500 earned. But October was also the start of a historic FA Trophy run. If you aren't familiar with English football, the FA Cup is open to all pro, semi-pro, and amateur clubs, while the FA Trophy is only open to the smaller clubs in tiers 5 through 8. Walton and Hersham took down Hayes and Yeading United in penalties, bagging £2,450 in prize money, and the month also saw a £4,200 supporter donation and ticket revenue near £15,000. But 2 months of wages hitting all at once drags October to a £28,426 loss, the heaviest of the season so far. Still top of the table, but now in the red. Moving into November, it was the most dramatic month of the entire season. Manager Billy Rowley and his assistant both unexpectedly leave for Yeovil Town, 2 divisions up, so the club loses 2 of its most important people right in the middle of the campaign. But the squad steadies itself through the transition. Coaching assistant Jacob Peterchak steps up to take over, and somehow they come through it with 3 wins and a draw during the first 4 matches of this new era. And while it was a surprise departure, losing Rowley isn't all bad news on the balance sheet. Rowley had a release clause in his contract that forced Yeovil to pay for the transfer, and Walton banked just under £17,000. And off the pitch, one of the original 7 owners walks away from his stake, leaving just 2 owners left, Calogero Scanella and Christopher Corey. And that transfer fee is a big reason why November turns out to be the best income month of the entire season, with over £58,000 coming in. The release clause fee alone makes up for nearly $17,000 of it, and sponsorship lands at over $18,000, and the ticket gate held up as well. On top of that, a first round FA Trophy win against Hendon brought in a clean £3,000. So for all the chaos, the disruptive month was actually one of their strongest financially, and the counter flips back into the green, but a good chunk of that was a one-off, and the early cushion is all but gone. December brings a bit of stability. Peterchak, the interim manager, is now confirmed permanent, with just a few years of scouting for Millwall behind him. At 27 years old, he is the youngest manager in the league and the youngest in Walton's history. In his first match, now officially in charge, a 4-1 win over Sutton United in the FA Trophy, a National League side 2 divisions above them, beaten at home, powered by a hat trick from Mason Obeng. They've now run all the way through the 3rd round, a club record, which brought home an extra £4,500 in December. For other revenue sources, December is Walton's 2nd biggest sponsorship month, nearly £24,000, a late wave of deals landing mid-season, plus a few thousand more from that FA Trophy run. But December is also a 5-week pay month, so the wage bill climbs to nearly £23,000, the highest we've seen yet, and even a strong sponsorship month only limits the damage. They're down £3,516, and that December sponsorship, it's the last big one. 6 months in, halfway through the season, and Walton are sitting at £5,328 in the green, just hanging on. But again, there's no cushion left, and the wage bill keeps climbing. January is when the cracks really start to show. Sponsorship falls off a cliff from nearly $24,000 in December to just over £6,000, and that's not unexpected. It's just how the deals were scheduled. But now, by midwinter, the sponsorship well has run dry. On the football side, the club continues to make history, winning another FA Trophy match, this time a 4th round win against Brackley Town, a 1-0 win, again with the winning goal coming from the young star Mason Obeng, who cannot stop scoring clutch goals, and that goal alone brings home £5,250 for the club, but it wouldn't pay out until February. At the same time, the running costs continue to climb to their 2nd highest of the entire year, north of £23,000, with the cup run and a packed winter fixture list pushing up match official and travel costs. Wages roll on near £20,000, a new non-existent executive director joins the board, and Walton lose nearly 15,000 pounds on the month, their third loss in 4 months, and this time it's not coming back. By February, the title push is really pulling fans through the gates. Walton and Hersham are still atop the table, and fans are showing up in full support. Walton bring in nearly 30,000 pounds that month in match day income, their biggest gate month of the year, and almost double what they took in October. On top of that, a 10,000 pound donation lands, 5,250 pounds from last month's 4th round win in the FA Trophy hit the books, and the heartbreaking round of 16 loss to Woking pays out another 1,750 pounds. For expenses, the top line items remain the same. Player and staff wages came in around 26,000. Matchday officials cost over 4,000. Contractors, including marketing consultants and videography, hit for another 10,000. But even with all of these added up, Walton come within touching distance of breaking even, just a 3,512 pound loss on the month. So now we are 8 months in, 3/4 of the way through the season, and they are down 13,157 pounds. And then comes March. Walton's total sponsorship for the entire month is 16 pounds and 67 pence. The annual sponsorship cycle is now completely over. Everyone who is paying has paid, and that is all that comes in. And here's the cruel part. March is actually one of Walton's leanest months for running costs all year, but with the wage bill still holding around 20,000 pounds and almost nothing coming in beyond the gate, they lose another 23,793 pounds anyways. So now 9 months in, they are nearly 37 pounds in the red. But on the bright side, they're still on track to win the league. And on the 6th of April, 2026, Walton and Hersham win the Southern League Premier South for the first time in club history, earning promotion to the National League South, the 6th tier of English football. And the month they won it turned out to be the most expensive of the entire season. April was a 5-week pay month, so the wage bill hit its highest point of the year, around 24,500 for the squad. And once the league was wrapped up, Walton didn't win a single game for the rest of April. In April alone cost them nearly 37,000, almost as much as the previous 9 months put together. And as a club owner myself, the feeling is all too familiar. No matter how well the club performs on the pitch, no matter how big the celebrations, it's not long before you're back stressing about the financials. So there you have it. Walton and Hersham are league champions. And now for the golden question, how much did it cost to win that 7th tier title? After adding up all of the months, Walton and Hersham finished the season with a total net loss of 73,597 pounds. So just under 74,000 pounds was exactly what it cost to win the league. To put that in perspective, the average League One club lost around 8 million pounds last season, and the average League Two club somewhere between 3 and 4 million. So Walton, 3 to 4 divisions below them, came in at just under 74,000. Honestly, not bad at all. And it just goes to show that football truly is one of, if not the most brutal business model on the planet. Their single biggest cost by a distance was player wages, just under 178,000 across the season. That's nearly half of every pound the club brought in all year long, gone on just the player wages. And as the club continues to move up, that number is only going to grow. Walton cannot pay what clubs above them pay, but they tell players that up front. The wage bill was never about buying a title, because Walton provides development and structure that is rare at this level, and it's clear that whatever they're doing is working because they just keep getting promoted. And remember, Walton might be the only club in the top 8 divisions of English football that doesn't see a single penny from their own bar. As I mentioned, a typical non-league club pulls in somewhere around 100,000 to 150,000 pounds a year just from the bar, which is comfortably more than Walton's entire loss for the season. Give Walton that same bar, and they don't just break even, they turn a solid profit, all while winning the league. To those who made it to the end of this video, thank you all for watching the series debut of Welcome to Walton. We will be back with monthly episodes covering Walton and Hersham as they continue their rise to the English Premier League. Open books, full access to financials, and a real story of a club that continues to defy the odds. If you like the show, drop a like, drop a sub, go follow Walton and Hersham on all their socials, keep an eye out for their shirt drop in the next few weeks, and I'll see you in the next one.